What's going on, YouTube? So the Mini lineup has came a long way since it first debuted as a small, affordable commuter car. And today we're with the not-so-mini Mini. This is the all-new 2025 Countryman. This, of course, is the biggest Mini they offer and has plenty of space for you and all of your family. So is this a great choice in the SUV-filled segment? Let's go ahead and find out. Now let's start off this review by talking about the exterior design. So the Countryman is all new this year, and that means that we're going to have a new modern look to the overall shape. However, I will say that, of course, as typical with Minis, they're going to have that unique design. Now, up here in the front, since we have the fully loaded iconic trim level with the favored design, that means that we're going to have this kind of bronzy chrome trim going through the grille section as well as on our Mini badge, and then the center section is going to be finished in a gloss black. The model we have today is the Countryman S. They will also offer a JCW model as well for those of you wanting that maximum level of performance. Now, let's take a look at our headlights. Our headlights are going to be really nicely done, and that's standard on every single Countryman. That means you're going to have an LED low and high beam. They're also adaptive. You have your daytime running light going around the outside edge as well as your turn signal indicator. They are not offering any fog lamps on any of the Countrymans. Now, when it comes to your wheels, we have bigger wheels than your average Mini. We start at 18-inch alloy wheels for the Countryman S. We have the optional 20-inch alloys on today's example. I absolutely love the way these wheels look. They have that almost Volvo-esque design to them, and they're going to have a really cool contrast look. We also have a matte black plastic around the wheel arches to give this a little bit more of a rugged look than your typical Mini product. And then as far as our mirrors are concerned, we have a gloss black finish. They're also going to be really nicely equipped. That means we have blind spot monitoring, heating, power folding, and we even have auto dimming on the driver's side. Now, when it comes to the vehicle length of the Countryman, it's about 175 inches long, which of course makes it quite a bit bigger than the Cooper, and we'll see how much space you're going to get on the inside just a little bit later. Now, as far as some design elements, we have blacked out window surrounds. We also have special all-4 branding here with a nice design touch, and your roof is highly customizable as well. You can get a white roof, you can get the body color roof, or a silver option as well. Now, as we head around to the rear design of this Countryman, it's your typical Mini look, but they have really made it a lot more tough looking this year. I think it looks fantastic here in person. We have a spoiler up top, we have an exposed rear wiper, our Mini branding, and then Countryman is going to be prominently spelled out across the back. Now let's take a look at our taillights as well. With the Mini Countryman, you're going to have standard full LED taillights, so that's also very nice. It's going to have that signature Union Jack design theme, and then our reverse light is integrated down here in the lower bumper. No exposed exhaust outlets, and you can tow up to 3,500 pounds with this S model. Now, when it comes to your safety systems, Mini is going to be sprinkling those through the different trim levels. But I do want to point out they even do offer an Active Driving Assistance Pro, which is pretty much something straight off of a BMW product that will allow for some hands-free driving. But guys, let's go ahead and check out the really cool interior. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars. So let's dive inside the new Countryman. Now, first of all, here is your Mini key fob, and I don't mean mini key fob because it's actually kind of big. We do have some branding here on the back. It does feel a little lightweight though, and you have remote start built into the fob itself, which is standard equipment, as is smart entry. So you just walk up to the vehicle and grab the handle, and that will go ahead and unlock the Countryman. Now, let's go ahead and look inside of this cabin, because you're probably noticing something right off the bat, and that's the fact that we have a really unique color scheme on this Countryman. I'm not exactly sure what this color is called specifically, but it's definitely a unique blue option, which I think is really cool that it's paired with the red on this. We are going to have a leatherette seat as standard equipment, and because we have the top-end favored trim level, that means that we're going to have basically the JCW seat put into this, which gives you stuff like that Mini branding in the back. It's also going to give you a power seat. As you can see, it's quite a few ways of adjustment, and you even have 4-way lumbar support as well as 2-person memory. But there's a lot to dive into when it comes to interior details, so let's get into that. And shutting up the door, let's go ahead and take a look at overall cabin materials for this Countryman. Now, when it comes to this, we are going to have a soft touch plastic here on the door trim, and it goes all the way up through here. Additionally, we have that unique blue and kind of a grayish bronze color on this door trim. It really looks super cool and unique. And then as we move up the dashboard, that's going to also have that same blue cloth. And then we have really cool details up here in the top part, but it is going to be hard touch plastic. We have some cool vent details as well, and then dropping down to the center section, all of this is going to be finished in a hard touch plastic, but it does feel very solid inside this cabin. Now, in order to start the car, it's a very unique setup. If you haven't been in any other MINI products, you just twist the center button. And now let's go ahead and dive into some individual details of the cabin of this MINI Countryman. Now, you may notice that we don't have a traditional gauge cluster, and that's because we actually have a standard head-up display on every single Countryman this year. That's a really cool feature. Now, do keep in mind it's not going to be like projected on the windshield. You do have like a little bit more of a traditional style head-up display where it pops that piece of glass up, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have good graphics, and it also does have some customizable designs when you change the drive modes. Now, as we head back to the steering wheel, we will have a standard leatherette wrapped steering wheel. It's also going to be standard heated on every single Countryman, which is really quite nice. And it's a big, thick rim. It feels really nice in the hand, which of course is important as we dive into driving dynamics later on in this review. We also have this unique piece right here underneath of the MINI branding, and it is going to be manual tilt and telescoping, and we have rain sensing wipers standard. Now, let's dive into interior storage. So for a bigger MINI product, it does have pretty similar interior storage to the Cooper. So we're just going to have this traditional console arrangement. We have a little bit of a storage cubby up in front of that. And then if we open this part up, you'll find some secret storage with that same cloth piecing there. 2 cup holders, and then you'll also notice a large tray right here. You have a wireless phone charging pad as well, and that's going to be included on Signature Plus trim levels and above. Now, you may be wondering how they're able to offer all that space, and that's because we have an electronic style shifter. It's going to be up here on the dashboard itself, so you just pull down for drive. Once more, we'll put it in low mode, and then if you go up, that's going to put us in our 360-degree camera system that is standard only on the top-end iconic trim level. The really nice thing about this is that it's straight out of a BMW product, so you can spin all the way around the vehicle and get that cool 3D view. You even have the backup assistant. Just press the P for park, and then off to the left or right side of that, we have our experiences, which is another word for drive modes. We'll talk about this when we talk about the drive modes, but you even have fun modes like go-kart that makes a really fun noise when you click on it. We also have a traditional volume knob. That's to control the optional Harman Kardon sound system that we have on this model. Unfortunately, we are in a time crunch on today's review, so we won't be able to give you a sound sample, but I'm liking that they have metal speaker grills, and Harman Kardon systems are normally quite good, so I'd expect it to sound pretty similar to what you'd get out of a BMW product, which is certainly a compliment. Now, let's talk about the screen itself, because that's probably the elephant in the room. You first noticed that when we got inside. This is a 9.4-inch OLED display, and I have to say, when you first get in here, it is just impressive, the overall graphics on board with this OLED display. It looks fantastic, has crisp resolution, and also the software is really good. Now, as far as the temperature adjustment, that's going to be controlled here in the screen. You can just swipe up and down for warmer or colder, so it's easy to adjust. Standard dual zone automatic system on board, and then here is how you turn on your heated seats and heated steering wheel. The heated seats are standard on all models. Additionally, we have built-in navigation on the screen, so you can click into that, and it fills up the entire 9.4-inch display. You also have wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. Now, as we head up to the mirror, you're going to have an auto-dimming one with HomeLink garage door openers, and as we head up to the ceiling, you will notice that we have a big piece of glass, and that's because we have a panoramic moonroof. And not only that, the panoramic first panel does open up, so I'm definitely happy to see that, because some of the recent products that we've been in from BMW have a fixed panel setup, so you'll be able to let some air into the cabin. Now, at the introduction, I said this was not so mini of a Mini, and you're really going to notice that here in the rear seat area, because there's quite a lot of space. So we're going to be sitting at about 37 inches of legroom and about 39 inches of headroom, so really quite impressive space figures. I'm 5'9" for a reference, and this is sitting behind my own seating position. It's a little bit of a tongue twister there, and we're going to be sitting at about 6.5 inches of additional knee room, which is very good. Also, my feet can slide up underneath of the seat. And as far as features are concerned, we do have standard vents here in the center section. We can adjust the airflow with that little roller knob. 2 USB-C ports, and then I guess a little storage cubby right there. We have a fold-down center armrest with 2 cup holders inside. And then looking at the door trim, we're going to have more of that beigey cloth from the front. And I kind of really like it. You won't be able to see this on camera, but the fact that the cloth will continue into the rear. It gradiently fades from the back of the door trim into the rear, which is a nice design touch. Now, as far as materials, we do have a hard touch armrest portion and quite a bit of door storage. The Countryman will come standard with a hands-free power tailgate, and as far as the space is concerned, once again, you're going to be quite impressed. So we're going to be sitting at about 25 cubic feet behind the second row of seats. The seats do fold 40-20-40 split folding, and when you do that, you have a maximum of 56 cubic feet. Now, we do not have handles to fold the seats from back here, so I will have to go up and do it manually from the second row. And now that I've got one of those seats folded down, let's go ahead and get our cargo length, width, and height figures. That's something we do in all of our Car Confections reviews. From behind my own 5'9" seating position, we're sitting at about 68 inches of cargo length. That's really quite good. From behind the second row, 35 inches. As far as cargo opening, that's going to be a solid 40 inches, and then I won't be able to get cargo height because they have this cargo cover installed. Up underneath of the floor, there's more underfloor storage than you would expect, so definitely count that in as some extra space. Well, guys, here we are behind the wheel of the all-new MINI Countryman. In this test drive, we're going to be discussing quite a few different things, as you can see on the screen right now. We'll also be getting things like our hard acceleration and sound level reading, so we can't wait to go ahead and dive in. And for those of you that don't know already, I'm sure you probably do, but this is Josh Dunkelberger. He is joining me at BMW Test Fest this year, and give him a warm welcome in the comments down below. Nice. It's a little bit past 60 miles per hour in the all-new MINI Countryman. Now, this is actually just the standard Countryman S, and despite that, we have quite a lot of power, and as you can see from that 0 to 60, this is plenty fast enough for the average SUV buyer. Now, what we're going to have under the hood is a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine. It's making 241 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. Essentially, this is the same motor that you would get standard in the BMW X1, because I know we haven't mentioned this just yet, but the BMW X1 is actually built on this MINI Countryman's platform, so they are very related to one another, and I think that's definitely a compliment, because this is plenty quick enough for really anyone's needs, I think.
And I really like the sound it has too.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the standard drive mode, and it has a nice little growl to it.
Yeah, for sure. Now, of course, they do have the high-performance JCW as an option on this model. That's also going to have a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder. That makes 312 horsepower. We actually just drove that in the BMW X1 M35 model, and that's definitely a big upgrade, I guess, when it comes to power. However, like I said, I stand by this standard engine option is going to be suitable for the vast majority of people, unless you're just really concerned about performance.
Now, also new to the Countryman this year is the new SE model, which is a all-electric version of this Countryman. It is using a 64.7 kilowatt hour battery to produce 308 horsepower.
That was a little bit of a rolling acceleration, which highlights the 7-speed dual-clutch transmission that you have on board with this Countryman. Overall performance is really quite quick. It's a good mate to this 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder, although do be aware it's a dual clutch, so it will be a little bit less refined than a traditional automatic transmission. One of the other good things about the Countryman is that it does have standard all-wheel drive as well. So unlike the Cooper, where you can't get that at all, this Countryman has standard all-wheel drive. Hence the all 4 badge on the side of the vehicle. Yeah,
all 4 wheels. All right, so we're gonna go on a little bit of a back road here. So we're gonna hop into go-kart mode.
You gotta love
graphic.
Yeah. Also, it puts the performance information on the screen itself. I really like that. It's pretty much front and center, so it's hard to miss. And you know, I am just so excited to take this out on a back road, which is something that you typically wouldn't say about an SUV. But here with the MINI Countryman, they've definitely inserted the MINI DNA of just having some fun dynamics on board. Even though this is quite a big vehicle, taking it around corners is absolutely a breeze. You are going to have a little bit more body roll than what you'd experience in the Cooper model. We actually just drove that earlier this morning, so it's kind of cool to have the back-to-back impressions of it, but it still feels really nice. Also, the steering is quite impressive. A quick turn off of center will give you immediate response, and it is just one of those vehicles that's pretty confidence-inspiring even here on a back road.
Now, one thing that you can option on to this S model, and is standard on the JCW, the sportiest model, that will help its handling dynamics, is adaptive dampers. And we've tested out these adaptive dampers in multiple BMW products like the X1, and it would be a nice little option to add on this. I think it's about $500-600, and it's really going to help improve your ride quality, especially in your handling dynamics.
Yeah, and you know, we're navigating because we are in Greenville, South Carolina. We're not in Kentucky, and this is a great view of your augmented reality navigation. That's a pretty cool feature to see at this price point. As we approached a turn coming up, it went ahead and turned the camera on and has the arrows on the screen for us to turn. And it's also going to have that in my head-up display as well, which is really quite neat. But we're accelerating up to about 55 miles per hour, so I'm going to go ahead and toggle us back into the normal drive mode, and we will also turn down the fan speed to very low.
$59,900 is where we're going to be settling at for this MINI Countryman S. And just a note, we are here in South Carolina at the BMW Group Preview Experience this year, so this is not going to be a similar road surface as to what we usually get in Kentucky, but hopefully eventually we can maybe get one of these back at home to give y'all a full week-long impression.
Yeah, and if you want to find, if you want to find all the sound level readings that we do on this channel, you can find that at carconfections.com/sound level readings. That'll keep you up to date on the latest cars that we review.
Now, as far as the fuel economy of the Countryman, you will be impressed by this measure. For not having any sort of hybridization on board, you'll be getting 27 mpg combined on the S model, only 1 mpg less on the JCW at 26 mpg combined, and if you go for the new SE electric model, you'll be sitting about 212 miles of EV range.
Now, going over a few little bumps there reminds me to talk about overall ride quality for this Countryman. Now, this, of course, is the more practical of the MINI products, and when it comes to ride quality, you would expect it to be quite a bit softer. However, it does definitely have a typical MINI characteristic. So, like I was talking about when it comes to driving dynamics, this actually is quite a good driving vehicle, but that also means that when it comes to ride quality, it's going to be a little bit rougher than what you might expect. And what you might be cross-shopping this Countryman with. So keep that in mind. Also, I would point out that the BMW X1, its sibling, does ride quite a bit nicer than this when it comes to overall comfort, so keep that in mind. But also the adaptive dampers are an available option. And I think that's going to be today's airball, is just the overall ride quality here in the standard suspension setup. With the largest wheels on the outside, it definitely is going to be a little bit rough.
Now, as far as the slam dunk for this big Mini, I think it's just the fact that you can get this big package but still maintain a lot of the fun that you get on the standard Cooper models. You still have the fun infotainment and the head-up display, but you also have a great amount of cargo space, and it's just going to be a great all-around package that we've enjoyed today. Now, as far as your warranties, you'll have Mini's standard 4-year, 50,000-mile powertrain and basic warranties, and also have 3 years and 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance.
So let's go ahead and talk about the pricing for this Countryman. So we start at around $39,000 as an entry point for the S All-4. Of course, there's the electric version, $45,200, and the JCW John Cooper Works, $46,900. Now, this particular model is just the standard S model in its highest trim level with all the options. We're sitting at $44,295 as tested today. Now, if you're looking to buy a MINI Countryman or any new vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, the reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. But buying a car is about more than just the original MSRP, so let's go ahead and dive into resale and reliability. First up, let's talk about resale value. As an economics graduate myself, we took the time to develop what we potentially think this Mini would be resale value-wise. We estimate that after 5 years and 60,000 miles, it'll be worth 56.2%, and after 10 years and 120,000 miles, 21.7%. Now, what's worth noting, that is actually a quite good resale value by percentage, and really the only main brands that will be above that would be Toyota and Honda in the mainstream front.
Now, we've also done the same for potential reliability by creating the Combined Reliability Index, which takes into account a variety of data from trusted automotive resources. In this regard, Mini is rated above the industry average in comparison to all other vehicle makes.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about our resale value and reliability data, as well as our methodology, be sure to go to carconfections.com/resale and carconfections.com/reliability. Buying a new vehicle is a big decision, so you want to make sure you're making a smart purchase, especially if you're cross-shopping between different vehicle brands. And guys, that's going to be it for our in-depth review of the all-new 2025 MINI Countryman. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, which we hope you did, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to get the latest car reviews, and you're also going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We have a lot of fun on this channel. I promise you won't want to miss out. If you're already a fan and subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.